Yo, this is DJP Coaching, and today I'm going to just show you a quick video on how to make your sub bass sort of fit in the mix, and just some other basic stuff that if you're a starting out producer that you think you should know. So I've just got a little track idea that I've just really quickly put together. It's nothing crazy, just to sort of demonstrate what I mean about these different things. So I'll just show you what the song sounds like first. Yeah, so you get the idea. There's nothing really happening much. This bass is just doing its own thing. But this is the sub that we need to be talking about here. We'll do that. Yeah. All right. So basically, this sub is just doing simple notes, following the melody of the bass. Just going. Yeah. The clicking you can hear is from the compressor. So. It's just the sad chaining. So first of all, what I'll do is I'll take it straight back to bare bones so you can hear what it sounds like originally, and then we'll play with it from there. So as it sounded like the beginning, simple sub, but it sounds a bit flat, bit sort of bit tired, I guess is a good way to use to describe it. So to control where it actually is and where it stays, first of all, I'll put a mono on there, just so that it keeps it in the center. There's nothing, there's no stereo-ness going on. This is just because if you've got it in the left and right channels, it's going to be clashing with, with the other basses, with other things. It's just not going to sound right. But I mean, rules are meant to be broken, so maybe there's a case where it's an orchestral piece or something like that, and the sub bass has to stay sort of stereo, or it's moving about, or just but for a general rule of thumb, I'd probably stick with putting your sub bass in mono. Moving on to EQ, I've got a little bit of basic EQing going on here. I took all the high end out, so I've done a low pass up to about 135 hertz, and then I've done a little dip around 100 hertz, just to sort of, so the high end is super basically taken out, because you don't want high end in your sub. The main use of a sub is to the feel, like the feeling of the track, how it feels, as opposed to how it sounds. So you want to take out some of the high end and stuff, because that's for all the other instruments. Unless you're making something like rap or something where the 808 is literally the bass as well, then but sticking to sort of drum and bass styly stuff, I'd usually cut all the high end out up to about there, and then I have this little bit peaked a little bit, just because I like to keep the third harmonic in there, and I like to have my basses a little bit higher. That's just a personal preference. I'm not sure if that's industry standard or anything, but that's just how I like to do it. And then the little dip there is just being took out basically to let the punch of the kick get through, because this sort of frequency area really clashes with the kick drums, especially in sub. Yeah, and then after that, I'd probably take something like that out, just to take under 20 or 30 hertz out, probably 20. That's just because you don't really hear that sort of range. You can't hear under 20, so it'd just be the speaker just slowly moving forward and backwards. And to be honest, it's I don't think it's as useful, unless, like I said, you're doing something experimental, and you're using really low frequencies to mess with things, I guess. Moving on from that, after the EQ, them down a little bit. After the EQ, I've got a bit, just literally basic compressor. Took the threshold down to about 18 dB, minus 18 dB. So what it does so far is, that's mono. That's with the EQ on. And then you compress it, bring some of them dynamics which really does make it sound fatter, brings some of the warmness through. But I just want to push a bit more warmness through by chucking a saturator on there with a medium curve. Bit of drive on there, bit of 100% wet, and that just adds a bit more of a sort of an analog feel. It makes it feel a little bit like it's got some character now. It's not just sub bass, just clean. It's got some character to it. So yeah, they're even harmonics that get added. It's a bit different to distortion. I'd recommend using saturator on the low end and distortion on high end stuff. That's just another rule of thumb. And then we move on to the sort of sidechain compression here. I've got ratio 4/1, 0.14 millisecond attack and about 41 second release. Then about -17 dB in threshold on the sidechain, and then it's routed to the drum rack and then to the kicks and the snares, because I've grouped them all sort of separately. And what you have there is, I'll just show you without the sidechain to give you an example. And then with it. You can hear that it's sometimes ducking when when they're gonna play at the same time. It'll duck. I'll do a really simple way of just sort of showing this. Just extend these notes so that they're always playing, so that when the bass hits, you can hear it ducking. Okay. Yeah, in fact, I'd probably say about. Yeah. Either way, it's just a couple of little tips that I've learned over the last few years, which I think really would help a lot with, if I'd known this earlier in my music making antics. I think it would have took a lot of extra learning off of my shoulders that I would have had to learn at some point anyway. So yeah, so basics. Basic sub with a sine, low frequency content, into mono, making sure it stays in the center. Add some EQ, take some unnecessary things out, dips around 100 Hz to let the kick through, cut out most of the high end up until about 135. And then compression, just to sort of reduce the dynamic range. And then a bit of saturation to put some warmth in there and give it a bit of character. And then sidechain to get it ducking with the drums. Other than that, I think pretty much it. I really hope you enjoyed. If you want to get in touch, or if you just want to comment below some suggestions for future videos, I'm all ears. I'm up for helping out in any way I can. Also, go check out the website. It's only on WordPress right now, but obviously it's going to take some time for me to get onto a different website. But I'm on Facebook, like I said, YouTube on here, on Instagram and Twitter. So if you want to get in touch on any of those, just DJP Coaching, and we can get you a lesson booked in, or I can just answer some questions, or if, like I said, you have another suggestion for a future video, I'm all ears. So it's been really good to get some videos actually out recently. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing a lot more. Like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. If you think someone's subs are sucky, then send them this video and tell them that they need to fix their subs. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Adios.